everybody, I'm Roxy and this is Rock Me PS. Today I bring you the Reading Rush tag, a week-long readathon hosted by Ariel and Raylene. I'm going to leave the link to the official Reading Rush channel down below. This year I've been actively participating and I've had a lot of fun. I've tweeted a lot, I've shared a lot of things in the Reading Rush official site, I've earned my badges, and my friend Danny joined this year too, which has been cool. We've been doing readings together. I don't know, I've just been enjoying reading so much. I link down below also my TBR. I've been fairly good at sticking to it. I've read some of the books in there. I've introduced some new books. So wait for my wrap up and you'll see. Okay, so this tag basically it's an old school style tag. There are some prompts all related to running or like a marathon because this is a readathon, which if you've seen my latest wrap up, link down below and in the eye as always, you'll know that is not something I usually do. The only marathons I participate in are reading marathons. So number one is Warm Up, a book that stretches your mind. For this, I will say Utopia for Realists, which is a book I think everyone should read. It's very entry level for the ideas it presents, but I think that's its strength. Some of the ideas it promotes are universal income, open borders, 15-hour work week, and stuff like that. It's really amazing. And I will also say Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. The first time I read this book, it really opened my mind to the possibilities of narrative. Number two, Start Line. What's a book you started but never finished? Oh boy. Inventing Ireland is a book that I need to finish, that I'm planning on finishing, but it's been 2 years since I started it and the progress has been slow, let's just say. And then there is Fingersmith and The House of Impossible Beauties, two books that I've tried and I really didn't like, and I thought about DNFing, but I haven't made up my mind because both are very popular books. Fingersmith, of course, is Sarah Waters' most beloved book, but I really didn't like the narration. Everyone says the plot twists are so good. It was good. It was a good plot twist, but yeah, I don't know. And then there is The House of Impossible Beauties, for which my expectations were way too high. I didn't like the narration, but I am interested in finishing that one because it is about the ball scene in 80s New York, and the real life people that feature in the novel are very interesting to me. So yeah, I might give it a shot. I don't know. You can tell I'm not in a very assertive mood at the moment. Okay, number three, Sprint, a book you read quickly. I would say Less by Andrew Greer. I absolutely devoured. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I read like 3 times in like a week and a half when it first came out and I got it. I was so excited. Plus, when I was younger, books took a while to be translated and I wasn't reading in English back then. Nowadays, things are translated like this, but when I was younger, that wasn't the case. So yeah. And I also think I read The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton in like a week, which is quick because it's such a long, convoluted book. I really enjoyed it. I also felt like I gobbled it up because it was so good and I just needed to keep reading. So yeah, marathon. What's your favorite long book? Right now, Anna Karenina. I've talked about that book so much. I'll link my June wrap up and also my review of that book down below so you can check those out. But yeah, I keep thinking about that book. I really want to reread it soon. I think next year will be the year actually. Right now, it's my favorite long book. Though that might change. I have a lot of really promising long books and I also think I need to reread some of them to make up my mind. But yeah, that's my answer for now. 5, Hurdles. What's a book that had ups and downs? Quality wise, for some reason immediately thought about Girl is a Half-Formed Thing by Eimear McBride. I had lots of expectations for that book and I don't think it was as accomplished as The Lesser Bohemians, which although came out later, I think she wrote before Girl. And yeah, Girl is a Half-Formed Thing was not as tightly put together, I feel like, and the extreme immediate consciousness style wasn't as useful for the plot. And then a book that emotionally had lots of ups and downs, I would say Room by Emma Donoghue. All of these terrible things narrated by a 5-year-old, I think, with like a really young boy who doesn't really know what's going on. It's just such an emotional roller coaster because he gets happy about things that you definitely shouldn't get happy as an adult. It's one of those books that there were parts that I was almost near hysteria, just like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And that's not a feeling I usually associate with my reading. I don't tend to read like thrillers or stuff like that. Yeah, that was very intense for me. Finish line, a book that you are proud to have finished. So I will say Moby Dick. I hate that I am proud to have read Moby Dick. You shouldn't be proud or you shouldn't feel like you have to read books, but that's one that as the rough equivalent of an English major, I feel like I should have read. And so when I read it, I was like, I've read Moby Dick now. But actually I really enjoyed it and I would love to reread it because it is an amazing book and it's actually really easy to read. It wasn't the dense, impenetrable read that I was expecting when I went into it. It's actually quite fun. And one book that I did have to push through was Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy, my first and only McCarthy so far. I pushed through basically because it was interesting and also because I had to read for class. And so the fact that I didn't abandon it and I finished it makes me proud. Gold medal. Best book read during a readathon. I don't know, I've been participating in readathons for a while now. I've read a lot of great things. Last year, I only read one book for the reading rush, which was Death of a Naturalist by Seamus Heaney. It's his first poetry collection. I really loved it, and also the reading experience was just lovely. You were supposed to read it on the same spot all the time, and I chose Fitzgerald Park in Cork. I was doing summer school there. It was just the perfect environment. Everything was quiet. I was in a very nice seat right by the river. Oh my god. The book itself was really good. I really enjoyed the poetry, but also the experience was amazing. Other great books that I read, Upstream by Mary Oliver, which I read for Springathon. I will leave the link to my wrap-up down below so you can check out my more complete thoughts on that book. It was exactly what I needed at the time, and it's exactly the type of essay that I love to read. So, and going a bit back, I actually think I filmed a wrap-up for that video. If I find it, I will link it down below. But for either a reading rush or back when it was called Booktubeathon, I read Eat Me by Bill Schultz or Shutt, something like that, which is a book all about cannibalism in both animals and humans. That book was very interesting, not only in the animal side, but the way he approached cannibalism in humans was the most interesting aspect, and it really stayed with me. The fact that I remember so much of it, even though so many years have passed, even if it wasn't like a favorite nonfiction book of all time, I think it says a lot about that book. So yeah, I think it deserves a spot on this list. And finally, Participation Ribbon, a book that you wish got more attention. A lot of them, by the way. I think The Character of Rain by Emily Nothomb is very underrated. Actually, in the Spanish world, not Spanish because I'm not from Spain, but the Spanish-speaking world, Emily Nothomb is actually a bit overrated. Most of her books are translated and most of them that I've read are not good or not that good, they are alright. But The Character of Rain is a masterpiece. I won't talk too much about it, but it's basically the story of this baby from the time she's born to the time she's 3, and she's the daughter of the Belgian ambassadors in Japan, so it's set in Japan. It's about her relationship with Japan, her relationship with her babysitter, and her relationship with herself. As a baby, she discovers she's not God. At one point, she thought she was God. She discovers there's a world outside, and that process of coming into your own from a baby's perspective, it's just fabulous. Please check that book out. It's amazing. Then My Tender Matador by Pedro Lempel is a book that I think everyone should read. It's an amazing Chilean book. I talked about it in my mid-year freakout tag, so I will also link that down below. It's about a gay man during the dictatorship having a very homoerotic friendship with a young college guy who's involved in the resistance against the Pinochet dictatorship. It's heartbreaking, but also it's hilarious because it really satirizes the dictator and his wife, and so I really recommend it. There are some Chilean authors that are more widely read in the English-speaking world than Lemebel, and that breaks my heart. I mean, I'm happy for them. That's awesome. I like that people read Chilean books, but I think you should read more Pedro Lempel because he's amazing. And then finally, Little Blue Encyclopedia by Hazel Jane Plante. She is a Canadian author, I think. I think this is actually her first book. I don't know, but it's like an indie book, so I guess that's why it hasn't received a lot of attention. Danny found it almost by accident at a bookstore in Vancouver, and she loved it so much. I then bought my own copy in Seattle because I really wanted to read it. It's amazing. I talked about it again in my mid-year freakout tag, and I also did a review of it in my blog, so I link those things down below. I think if this book had been published by like a major publisher, it would be very popular on BookTube, because it is a kind of book that booktubers that read literary fiction would like. It is very experimental in a way. It's presented as this fake memoir slash encyclopedia of a fictional show, but it's actually an exploration of identity, love, friendship, and grief. I just think it's a book that really should and could get more attention if it were put in the spotlight. So this is my 2 cents from my very limited corner of the internet. And that was it. I hope you enjoyed this tag. I tried my best, although I am not at my most eloquent these days. But anyways, I've been having fun. I've been reading lots. And I actually wasn't planning on recording anything during Reading Rush Week because, Reading Rush Week. But I just thought I will want to do this tag because it's so fun that I might as well film it during the giveaway time, because I want to participate, even though I am very unlucky with giveaways. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and comment down below. You can answer all the questions, or whether you've participated in the Reading Rush, what are you reading, how's it going. That's it, see you next time.